Good morning, Central Texas. Welcome to the second half of KISS Community Connectors at 103.1. I'm Phyllis Jones, and I am still here with you. And we're going to talk about the famous November 5th election that most of us probably forgot about it. I know a lot of us have. We've slept and go, what election's coming up? Not till 2020. Well, no. We're going to have our constitutional elections this year, and it's going to be November 5th. And the deadline to register to vote is October the 7th. So you need to know if you have not registered to vote, you still have time till October 7th. Early voting takes place October 21st till November 1st is your early voting. If you're voting absentee, the voting deadline date for that is October 25th. So remember those. Your polling times, as we know, would be when you go vote, it will be 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Voter ID, yes, you still need to have it. You really do. I know that we were, hoping that it goes away, but you still need to have your ID in order to vote. So remember to take it with you when you go. On the ballot this year, you're going to find 10 I can't even say it. 10 parts of the Constitution that Texas does want to have you vote upon. So you're going to have to be careful and look on them and make sure that you know what they are. But you have, like I said, 10 propositions to vote on. And they're all online. You can go and find them. But proposition number 1, it allows a person to serve as more than one appointed elected municipal judge. I know, what does that mean? But like I said, I need you to look it up and you'll find out what it's all about. Make sure you look these up before you vote on them. Yes, you can go to Secretary of State's website and find out what these are, but you will be voting on them. The second one is you allow Texas, Water Development Board to issue up to $200 million in bonds. I know what I did say 200 million. I really did say that, but we need to read and follow that. And what you need to know is in Texas, we are having a water fight, and it's not a water fight with water guns. It's you're having districts in Texas that are running low on water, and they're buying water from other municipalities. And yes, I did just say that too. So we need to pay attention to when it says controlling our water, doing something else with it. Need to pay attention to it at all times because water's up for grabs in Texas right now. Your proposition number 3 is authorizes temporary property tax exemptions for disaster areas. And we do know with all the disasters we've been having in Texas with the floods and all things like that, we might need to have something in place to measure for that. Proposition number 4 prohibits the state from levying an income tax on individuals. You have to pay attention to that one because your yes or no could mean a great difference in your vote. Proposition number 5 dedicates revenue from the sales tax on sporting goods to parks, wildlife, and historical agencies. I know you might say some of these don't apply to you, but they do. So we're going to make sure that we read and understand them. Proposition number 6 authorizes the legislators to increase bonds for Cancer Prevention and Research Institute. So that will be something really to look into, especially nowadays. Proposition number 7 increases distribution on the state school fund. So remember, number 7 is increases distribution to the state school fund, which might be something you want to look into also. Like I'm telling you now, I'm reading them to you, but I need you to go back and look them up to make sure these are things that you would like to vote on and understand what you're voting. Proposition number 8 creates a flood infrastructure fund. You would think in Texas, with the floods we do have and all these terrible hurricanes we're having, we would have something in place for flood areas. Well, we don't. We don't. And Texas does need some kind of bill out there or some kind of proper fund set on the side to the left to help, because you think about it, Houston is still not repaired yet. Just think, Houston and the other cities, they're not repaired yet. Corpus Christi, they're still not fully back yet. Because funding, because the state had to go back and say, okay, let's move some money over here to over there. How much can we move over here to over there? So we don't have a structured fund set up where we can actually take this money, bam, and send it over there to the city or to this county and say, okay, this is for that. We don't have a fund. So Texas might need to have one. We might need to look into it. Proposition number 9 authorizes property tax exemption for precious metals held in depositories. That's a word I always mess up. And number 10 allows the transfer of law enforcement animals to handlers or others in the animal's best interest. These 10 propositions are on your ballot. No matter how weird some of them I said and sounded like I was reading, they are there for you to vote for. So sometimes we overlook the constitutional elections. They sneak up on us and you go, where did they come from? Well, here they are. And like I said, election, November 7th. The last time to register to vote would be the election day is November 5th. The last day to register to vote is October 7th. So we need to, if you're not registered to vote, you need to get registered to vote. If you're not sure, you can go vote.gov and it will let you know whether you're a registered voter or not. Also, if you register to vote at DMV, they don't have to turn those in at the end of the night. They don't have to. It's not their job to. It's something that they've also said they will do. They've said we'll do it, but it's not their job. So I want you to remember that. So when you go say, I registered at DMV and you didn't get a card yet, you might need to check to find out, are you a registered voter? And if you're not, then you need to do so. Your senior citizens that are out there that make sure that they have registered to vote, and also make sure that they've signed up to get an absentee ballot. Because if they don't, then like I said, they won't be voting, and make sure they get one. And from your senior citizens, print out a sample ballot and give it to them. For real, I'm serious. Give it to them so that they know what they're voting on before they get there. You don't want them standing in there and then looking at it later, looking at it, trying to figure out A, B, C, D. No. Give them download it, print it off, give them like I said, a copy of the constitutional amendments that's going to be on there. There's 10. Give them a copy of it. Let them take it in there, and they could, you could take a cheat sheet in there when you go vote. You can take it in there, so they need to know. Also, what we need to let everybody know is in Bell County. Remember that we will be using all new machines. We'll be using them all. That's in effect now in Bell County. So when this upcoming election will be there, remind our senior citizens. And I know we remind everybody else, but remind them that the computers that they were scared to use last year, they're going to have to use this year. Remember last time they voted, they had choices. You can use this one or that one. Choice is gone. We're fully operational, and we're using the computerized ballot, to which a lot of people did not want to use earlier this year when they voted in election. They don't want to use it where we're going to be using it. So that will change, and we need to get our senior citizens up on it. And you can do so we can hold any group, organization, any people. You can actually hold a workshop session to teach them what the machine is, what it's all about, get the video so they can see and be more comfortable with it. Because we know a lot of people are afraid of change, and too much of a change will cause people not to vote. And they will, and it's plain and simple. If you walk in, go, where's the machine at? Oh my God, where's it at? I'm not voting. I don't like it. Well, they need to become friendly with it, because this is the way we'll be voting. And next year, I don't know if anybody's been paying attention, but we'll be doing super precincts. A super precinct is where a lot of places are going, and the super precinct is just this. You're going to have some of your individual precincts, yes. A super precinct is where everybody can go into that one building. So let's use a recreation center. You'll be able to go into that recreation center in that particular one and vote. And you'll be able to vote, but you'll be able to get a ballot from any precinct that you're in. So let's say you live in 410 and that super precinct is, way down the street, somewhere else, down the street. And I was saying Killeen is at the Killeen Community Center, but you live over by Killeen High School, and you used to go vote over there. Well, but you're over here right now. So guess what? You can go to Community Center and go vote if that's a super precinct. So super precinct is a bigger place that has all the precincts in it, and you're allowed to go and vote there. So that's going to happen next year. So that will be another change that we'll have to get used to. We're moving toward the right way. You might say, oh my God, why we got to do this? Well, we're catching up with the rest of the world. We're our technology world right now. And the more technology there comes, the more we will have to adjust to it, because, I still have people asking you, where's the old one at when, and you close the curtain. Oh my God. That seems ancient Eve right now, but we've graduated from there to where we're going now. So remember, there is an election November 5th. It's your constitutional election. You have 10 propositions. I read them. Yes, some of them sound crazy, but a couple of them we need to pay attention to. We need to pay attention to the water part. Because like I said, guess what? I don't know if you noticed or not, but Killeen, Harker Heights, Copper's Cove, we don't own the rights to our water. You don't own it. There's a water board that owns the water. They own it. And can they sell some of it? Yep. Can you do anything about it? Nope. Do we have cities that are running out of water? Yes, you do. And are they looking to buy water from somewhere else? Yes, they are. And are we in control of it? No, we're not. We're just not finding out we're not. But we're not in control of our own water. Just think about that. And water is becoming a large commodity right now. You do have certain cities that are on a water schedule. They can only water their grass. And it's not the drought. They don't have no water. So we need to pay attention to our water. The proposition about schools and funding, we need to pay attention to it. We really do, because schools are getting more and more expensive. And they're getting expensive because guess what? Now we're using more technology. Beforehand, we had one computer in the classroom. Well, now most classes, you have more than one computer, and then the kids have iPads in the classroom. Well, you have a school with 500 or 600 kids. You got 500 or 600 iPads in there. So schools are being more expensive because we have to follow technology because we're education. So you might want to look at that. The infrastructure tax for disasters, we need to look at that because, like I said, remember Houston. And Corpus Christi and all the other little towns, those towns haven't recovered yet. And this disaster they had wasn't yesterday. It wasn't just last year. So they're still suffering from it right now because we didn't have an infrastructural fund area to have. And you would have thought we would. I would have thought we would have, but obviously we don't. So that's something we need to go back and look at. So don't let this election sleep and go, I don't care about the Constitution. You might. There could be something coming down in your area. Let's say you don't vote, you don't care about the infrastructure if there's a flood, but let's just say our area gets a flood. Guess what we're going to ask for? Where the money at? You didn't vote for that fund. So now we got to take, first of all, yes, you get the federal disaster relief. You get that, but that's not enough if you think about it. That isn't enough. That's not enough at all. Then we have to rely on a bunch of other things to get it done. So let's think about that. It might not affect us today, but we don't know whether it's going to affect us tomorrow. It might not affect you tomorrow, but your child might be living somewhere where that flood is. You do want something there. Florida, look at Florida. Florida gets a flood all the time now. So, my gosh, they do have a fund set up. Let's say they didn't. And just think, they have a fund set up and everything, and it's still not enough. It's still not enough. So, like I said, don't let this election sleep us. Make sure you go vote. Make sure you also know we are using the new machines fully now. You're not going to walk in there with that half this, half that just because it's your comfort zone. Nope. We're going to be fully using the new machine. So people need to have a little workshop, a little session on that machine to get it working and to get it working in your head, so that when you walk in there, how you're going to be voting. Yes, you can still take your cheat sheet with you. Yes, you can. You can't take your phone with you. Can't do that, so don't say my cheat sheets on my phone. I'm going to be looking at it. Can't do that. You have to be using a piece of paper to go and vote with, because that is the law. So like I said, I remember this election's coming up. People wonder, where did it come from? Well, we have a constitutional election every so many years. But like I said, it's the lowest time. Also, for the election day, all the precincts will not be open. They put a lot of the precincts together because of the low voter turnout. So all your precincts will not be open on election day. So pay attention to all those things. I know it's a whole lot to pay attention to, but guess what? It's the way we live right now. Is it? We got to vote. And next year in 2020, oh man, that's when the big elections happen, and the more things will happen, and we'll bring KISS. I'll say, we'll make sure that you're always up to date on when you're going to vote, not how, but we're going to tell you when. We'll give you the wheres. We're not going to tell you how, but we'll give you the when and the wheres. We'll make sure you're always updated on this time, the Constitution election. Mels will be talking about some of it on his show. He don't know it yet, but I'm going to send it to him so he can talk about it. But Mels will talk about it also. Him and Joe, they will talk about it, because we want to make sure that you stay well informed. And if you're not well informed, it's because you didn't listen to KISS. I'm just saying that. I'm just saying that right now. Just, if you don't listen to KISS, you're not going to be well informed, because we got the information and we're going to share it with you. But I know I said a lot this morning. We went from the school district, went from there, went to the Constitution election. So, if you didn't get all this information, what you can do is you can go to YouTube, and all my shows are on YouTube. So I'll say, like, between Tuesday and Wednesday, you can go to YouTube. You can do KISS Community Connections. It's just my name, and all my shows are there, so you can keep the information right there with you, so that you won't lose it. But I want to thank you for listening to KISS Community Connections this morning at My KISS 1031. I want you to always remember, you cannot lead a positive life with a negative mind. We'll talk to you next Sunday.